Hi, Todd. Thanks for joining me today.
I'm glad to be here, Alex.
Great. So I wanted to go ahead and dive right in since we're at the IPSA annual conference. I thought it would be best to start by talking about some independent seed companies.
Oh, I think that's a great topic. I love independent seed companies.
Perfect. So why did you decide to start working with independent seed companies?
You know, I'll tell you what, I got really fortunate back in a previous role where I had some good interaction back in 2007 and 8 with several of the independent seed companies out there. And I have to say, I'm struck always by people in the seed industry. You know, by and large, it's the same factor that you find when you're dealing with farmers wherever they are in the country. Agriculture just breeds some of the best people in the world. They're great folks to be around. They're fun to work with. And I think at the core of it, when you say that about agriculture and you see that in farmers, it's just amplified even more in the seed industry. The independent seed companies have just some of the best people around. They're fun to work with. And even more than that, because of who they are, they just build this body of enthusiasm around a person to make you want to work for them and find ways to help them strive and be stronger. They're just good people, and they're a fun group to work with.
Excellent. So we've talked a little bit about what you like about working with independent seed companies, but what does IPSA actually do to help the independent companies?
You know, it's a really good question. Because IPSA as an association, obviously we're out there, and traditionally associations, you know, they'll promote a business class or business entities as a group. You think about the American Automobile Association, they promote cars nationwide, and it kind of benefits all car dealers. That's not what the Independent Professional Seed Association is really like. Do we promote independent seed companies? No doubt. We believe that they are a cornerstone and lifeblood of the seed industry, especially in corn and soybeans, but across the row crop spectrum and even into other crops. We believe the independents are an important factor. So what IPSA does is not only help promote, though, and that's not our only mission, but we also strive to find real things out there in the world that we can help those companies learn and thrive. We can offer programs that are beneficial from an economic standpoint to them. They give them stronger buying power. It's those type of business opportunities that we look for. And then on personal development opportunities, like we're here at the IPSA annual conference, where we can help them become better salespeople, become better agronomists, become better managers, that we really look to. And when we think about the independent companies like that and where IPSA tries to create value, the knock-on effect is real benefit to the farmer customers. And let's face it, at the end of the day, we're all here to see the farmers become more productive, produce more food. And there's been this mantra across the world, you know, the U.S. at least, for the last several years of, you know, how do you feed 9 billion people? And when you look at the American farmer and the North American farmers, we're the most productive farming group that the planet has ever seen. Mm-hmm. And it's our job to help them to continue to produce. And by the way that we work with independent seed companies and helping them grow and continue to thrive and be able to deliver on their promise of really being trusted advisors with those farmers, that we think that we help contribute to that feeding of the planet as well.
Excellent. Okay. So you touched on this a little bit already, talking about how you think IPSA can also help farmers. Mm-hmm. Do you have any specific goals you think that would help IPSA connect with farmers?
Well, that's a little bit of a difficult question. I mean, one of the things that and it is because as we look at what IPSA is today, you know, IPSA as an association, and you think of it in terms of business to business type, that's kind of the area that we fit in. So we work with the seed companies, and we don't work directly with farmers, and then the seed companies work with the farmers. So We're kind of, you know, a little bit outside of that piece. But one thing that we do try to help build within IPSA members that will immediately impact the farmers is helping them continue to develop some of the things that they do well to doing even better than they do. We just had a speaker here at our 29th annual conference who talked to us about the importance of trust and how to build trust and what the impact on the farmer is there as we develop more services at IPSA that helps encourage services at the seed companies, and then by the next step gives more value to the farmer. And trust is a big factor of those. Being able to come to the farmer with correct and accurate data, from a trust factor. Again, what does IPSA do? Help encourage this whole model of trust and help seed companies build their trust portfolio, if you will. And then what do? They give more accurate data to the most accurate data to the farmer. They end up giving the best services to the farmer, and that at the end of the day is the type of value that a farmer is looking to create. A farmer, when he looks at his purchase of seed, I learned long ago that it is the most important and most emotional decision a farmer can make, buying his seed each year. And I mean, after all, we all use the language, it starts with the seed. And that is it at the end of the day. It is the most important purchase a year. A farmer has to have the best information possible in order to make that purchase. It's really not a purchase that he wants to flip out and buy on the internet.
Right.
He needs somebody that he trusts, that is on his farm, that gives him the best data available. And that's one of the pieces that from a local standpoint, independent seed companies can't be beat. They are in those communities and they are engaged with those farmers because they are their neighbors and friends.
Excellent. So now that we've been here for about 3 days.
Been here for 3 days.
What do you think is the overall feeling of your IPSA members?
Well, Alex, this is a real time, I think, of a little bit of angst. There is optimism in always opportunity, because we believe in times of transition and a little bit of challenge, that's when you can really find opportunities to build on top of problems and issues. And I say there's a little bit of angst because as we look across the ag industry right now, and this not only affects independent seed companies, but it also really affects farmers. We have very low commodity prices, which obviously, farmers have higher cost input now than they've had in many years, and they're still producing. They're producing great yields, but they're getting less for them. And their input costs really have not gone down. So, that is coming out of a farmer's bottom line. When that happens, obviously the farming community is hurt, and by and large, everybody up the chain is also starting to get hurt and feel a financial squeeze. So the actual financials in the farming community, because of lower commodity prices, are concerning to everybody. The next step up is we have this big move in large ag consolidation. We've seen movements with Dow and DuPont and Syngenta Chem China and now Monsanto and Bayer. And as there's more consolidation, there is more situations out there that are concerning the farmers. Are they going to see the same type of technical innovation that we've seen for the last 2 decades since the advent of GMOs or BT products have come into the marketplace? Are we going to still see the genetic gains? So those are all questions and troubling concerns. So as we look at it right now, the challenges out there are largely financial, which are outside of anybody's control. Commodity prices are what they are. We produce a lot. We need to look at demand. That's one of the reasons that trade is so important to the American farmer, and the NAFTA agreements are so important, is to maintain that good demand for our agriculture products. And then we look at the consolidation and the uncertainties. So those are 2 major factors that affect not only independent seed companies, but also farmers. And so there is that is concerning. The optimism is finding the solutions and unlocking that and continuing to build the business. Independent seed companies, in the United States represent about 20 to 22% of the corn and soybeans that are purchased by farmers. And that continues to be pretty steady and has grown the last several years. And I think that part of that is, even in these difficult times, the independent seed companies, again, because of trust and the factors that they have that they can deliver on to farmers, actually bring great value. So yes, there's concern, and the members seem guarded, but at the same time, there's a bit of optimism that, hey, we're going to do our jobs. We're going to be the best that we can be, and the farmers are going to take care of us, and we're going to take care of them.
Excellent. Well, hopefully this is my last question, and hopefully it's a little bit lighter. What do you think are some of the qualities an independent seed company needs to possess in order to compete in today's seed industry?
Well, I don't know. It's a lighter question, to be honest with you. There's a lot. We've talked a lot about trust. You've got to be able to have good and accurate data. You've already got some of the best people around, and I think that as we look at the trust and integrity that I believe that the independent seed companies and their people represent, I think that's a big factor. I think being able to deliver good local products. I mean, products, you have to have good products. And independent seed companies seem to be very good at selecting the right products to go in the right place for the right farmers. And that is a key component of being able to deliver on that promise to help the farmer maximize his seed choice. So I think those are the components. And then at the same time, I will tell you, Alex, we're in a new rising technological world. I think seed companies, like everyone else, and I'm very heartened by what I see here at IPSA, I think the seed companies have to be able to adapt into the new realities of what technology brings. And I see them very much embracing in some of the newer technologies that they can work with their farmers on. So I think that they have to be, deliver on the product promise. They have to have high trust and integrity so that the farmers absolutely do trust them, and they have to honor that by never violating that trust. And then on top of that, I think that they have to be innovative within the new technologies that come into play, and I do believe that our members are going that direction.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much for sitting down with me, Todd, and talking with me. I enjoyed hearing your insight.
Alex, I am always happy to sit down and talk with you.